All right, I think we're live. What's going on, everyone? What's up to everyone in the live chat? What's up to Wiggles, Alejandro, Silent State, Pineapple Crusher? What's going on? Thank you for tuning in. Today we're going to do a little short video on a very requested wobble bass, precisely this. So I made this beat a while back when we did the video on how to 10x your drops, and a lot of you requested how I made this wobble, and I thought I'd just show you guys. I made this with Vital, which is a free synth. Well, technically it's free and there are paid versions. If you pay for it, you get additional wavetables and presets. However, the free version of Vital is totally usable. It already comes with a neat set of presets and wavetables. So if you guys don't have Vital yet, I highly encourage you guys grab it. I have a link down below where you can check it out. Shouts out to Martin, Mr. Digimal, Humlock, Soundromes, Joel Rods, Vylan, Bowman, Bo. What's going on? Meow meow. So yeah, we're just gonna get right into it. And by the way, my name is Stranger, and if you're looking to improve your music production, sound design, especially with drum and bass and dance music, make sure you subscribe to this channel, like this video. This channel is for you. So just gonna get right into it, really. This is a pretty easy wobble bass, and if you guys are regulars to my channel, then you'll know that I like to keep things simple. I like to really dive in and kind of back engineer sounds and look at what are the essential elements or techniques to building a sound, and I strip it down to what's necessary so you get the most raw sound, and whatever additional processing that you put on it is just additional sauce, right? That's my technique. That's how I go about it with sound design. I hope you guys can follow along. So I'm just gonna pull Vital here and move over to this side of the screen. Okay, and as I mentioned, I have the paid version of Vital, but if you just use the free version, it's totally fine. You will still have a number of wavetables. Also, if you guys have Serum, you can actually import Serum's wavetables right into Vital. So then you can get the benefits of both the worlds. You can get Serum's awesome wavetables, and then you can use Vital's amazing wave shaping tools. So I actually have a video on this. So if you guys are interested, just check out my look under my YouTube channel and just look Vital Serum preset, and then you can find out how to do it. But that's a great way to combine both worlds because we all love those Serum presets. I mean, those wavetables. All right, so this wobble bass is quite simple, and let me know how the sound is before I get too deep into it. If it sounds all right, if I need to make some adjustments, let me know. But we're gonna start with a basic shape, which is a sine wave. And you'll notice that with Vital, you might get some clicks if you're playing with a sine wave. You hear that clicking? All you need to do to resolve that is to add a bit of an attack. The reason why you're clicking is because the attack is at 0 seconds. So it cuts into the sine when it's in the middle of a phase. So it might not be on the 0 point of the sine wave. You notice that when you look at a sine wave, when it plays exactly at the 0 point, then there's no click. But if you're playing in the middle of the sine wave, then you're going to get some clicking. And to get rid of that clicking, we just add a micro fade. That gets rid of it. Okay. And then, so oscillator 1 is going to play the overtone of the bass. So it's going to play the higher note. And then we're going to employ oscillator 2, which is going to play the bottom or the root of the bass, and it's going to be a sine wave as well. So the trick here is that we want oscillator 1 to play a higher note, right? Right now they're playing the same note, so you're not going to hear a difference, but you could either increase the pitch here by clicking and dragging up. And a popular one is to put it up at +7, which is the perfect fifth of the root. And I'll be doing a video about the perfect fifth soon. For those of you who do not know what the perfect fifth is, you can look it up on Google. It's a pretty simple idea. You can also go up to an octave, so that'd be 12. And then if you go another +7 to 19, that will be a perfect fifth as well on the second octave. Very popular sound, okay? Now, actually what I like to do is we can either leave this at 0 or 7, and we can use this little sync button here. And what this does is that it will duplicate or multiply the waveform. So there's specific values here. So notice when it's perfectly doubled here, that actually makes it 2 octaves. So here at normal, that's the root octave. But if we position it so you see 2 sine waves, that essentially is multiplying the sine wave by 2. So essentially it's playing 2 or it's doubling the octave. And I actually have a cheat sheet here, so you can look up the specific values for each octave on this parameter. I'll just bring it up so you can look it up. Just gotta pull it up on my Google Sheets, and I'll share it with you guys in the link below later. I actually forgot to share it before the show. Let's see if we can pull this out here. So these are the values. Here we go. Oh, I gotta zoom out a bit. Okay, so just if you need to know what values, if you want it to be like 2 octaves up, then it's 62.5, which we're at. If we want it to be 3 octaves up, it's 69.75, right? Sometimes you might have to finesse it. Actually, it might be a bit, instead of 0.5, you might have to move it a couple decimal points. I was doing this on the speakers last night, so I didn't hear that it's creating a micro harmonic here. So the idea here is you want it to loop perfectly so that the end of the phrase here continues to the beginning. If it's off a bit, then you get that micro harmonic, right? And we're trying to get rid of that. Now, I thought I got rid of it last night, but it looks like I might have to fine-tune the values. Probably take too long for this show. I'll fix the values when I'm done the stream, but essentially the overall values around here, I'll fine-tune it after so it's exact. But yeah, pretty much if you want to follow this, then it'll give you for example, if we want it 9 octaves, then it's 89.62, right? Now, why does this matter? Well, the pitch of this oscillator will determine how that growl or that wobble will sound. So let's bring this back to just 2 octaves so we can continue building this sound. And now then this will be a little more obvious once we build out this sound. Okay, so the next step to creating this wobble is we want to modulate the volume of oscillator 1. We want to do this to that level knob. But instead of like doing it manually, right, that would be difficult. We can use an LFO. So over, out, on the right side here, we can pull out LFO 1 and just bring it over to oscillator 1's level, right? So just click on here, drag it to the level, and then bring level all the way down so it starts at 0 volume, right? And then on LFO 1, you'll notice that there's this little pie kind of icon. So if you click and drag, this will increase the modulation amount. Notice it gets louder, the wobble gets louder. Right? So adjust this little pie icon accordingly. I'll show you on the other side. If I adjust it, you'll notice that green ring. So that specifies how far it goes up when the LFO reaches the top of that hill, right? So now we can shape this a little. I like the shark fin shape. I just like how it just has a more finesse sound when you create wobbles with it. Of course, we can then change the tempo of it. Now, depending on how tight you want the wobble, you can make the fade in a little more I think this is concave and more convex like this, right? This is up to your taste. Okay. Now, go over into the effects section, and then we're going to add some distortion. Okay. And we're going to increase the drive. Now the secret here is now we're going to go into the, we're going to modulate the drive, right, with the same LFO. So click on LFO 1, bring it to drive. And this part takes a little finessing. You might have to bring the drive back, then increase the modulation amount. So notice now there's this red pie. So that's the modulation amount for the drive. Okay, so we're getting there. So notice how the overtone of that this growl changes as we change the sync value. Actually, there's another sine wave that I use here that sounds a little bit better. If I can find it here, hopefully I can. I think it was cardboard cube. Yeah, it's a slightly different. Notice how the shape changed. Before it was like this, and then if I go under here and choose, where was it again? I lost it. Here. It just sounds a bit different. I think this cardboard cube wavetable comes with the paid version, so unfortunately if you guys are using the free version, you won't have this one. But the regular one is just as good. Okay. Now we can make this a bit rounder if you turn on a filter, right? And then we also apply LFO 1 to the filter here. We can change the filter to, I like 24, the 24 pole. It has a steeper curve. It tends to have a more rounder filter sound. Okay. I just have to pull out my preset. There's one parameter that I'm missing here to get it to that growl that I wanted. So I just need to go back to see how I made it. Oh, and by the way, the if you want that specific growl, so here's my new pack, or our new pack that we did. I got some awesome sound designers with this one. My buddies Andre and Calmo. So we worked on this together, and we have 73 presets here, over 70 presets here of Wobble and Wubs presets. If you guys are interested in grabbing this, it's called Wubs and Wobbles. It's for Vital, and I have a link down below if you're interested. It just came out today actually, so if you guys are interested, there's a 10% discount down in the links below. Quite happy with this preset pack. We studied very hard in terms of what's happening in the industry in terms of the wubs and wobble sounds that people are using, and we have some really great gems here. So if you guys are interested, check out Wubs and Wobbles in the link below. Some awesome sounds. I'll play a few for you guys while we're at it. So that's the one we're doing today. This choke wobble is cool. It's kind of lo-fi. And what I'm proud about with this preset pack is we've worked really hard to provide you guys some awesome macros to customize the sound. A lot of people are worried about using presets because then the concern is everyone else is using the same preset, so it'll sound the same. But not necessary, because you can use these macros to quickly change and customize your sound to your liking, right? And then you can also, if you're more of a sound designer, you can take the presets and customize it to your liking. You can change the LFOs, right? Change the filters or wavetables. So definitely nothing wrong with using presets, right? I was proud of this one, Sludge Fest. The sub low is pretty good too. I was happy with Disgust though. So there's tons of presets here. I'm just gonna go back to Growler here. There's something I'm missing to recreate the sound I want here. So sync, unison is, oh, okay. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 6 octaves up. Okay, let's see. Let's go back to ours. Oh, that's why. Zero. This is 6. One thing that's important is that there's this button called phase here. There's phase randomization, right? Let me just make this a bit more close up. Over here, this little value here, it's like Serum's randomization. It gives it a more analog sound. However, I like to actually keep it at 0 because that ensures that every time you hit the bass, it sounds the same, right? I'm actually having a little trouble finessing this point here to get it exact. Let me go back to my chart and see if we have the exact value for 6. 6 is 82.30. Oh, let me just move that here. So 6 octaves should be 82.3. So, all right, that's better. Okay, that's getting closer. Okay, so that's the sound I want. Bear with me, guys. I actually didn't prep. I was just doing this on the fly today. Okay, so then the other thing we can do is, well, let's just keep going. We're gonna add some reverb to this, or actually EQ. I want to add a high shelf to bring those highs up. Maybe add some mids. See, the trick here is adjusting the drive amount and then the drive modulation. That'll determine how grimy it sounds. Okay. We can add some reverb to this. Now you might ask, what the hell are you doing putting reverb on bass? That's a no-no. However, you could always go into the reverb. Well, you can change the order, by the way. Usually I want reverb at the end of the chain, so just drag it down like this. Now you can, so yes, it's a no-no to add reverb to sub bass. And there's ways around this. You could filter the sub bass from the reverb amount with this pre-low cut, right? And that gets rid of the bottom end. Right? That's one way. If you want it super clean, then you could go back into your oscillators, and we could say that we could have a third oscillator, set this to a sine wave, and bring this to direct out. So it skips the effects section, goes directly to the master, while oscillator 1 and 2 goes to the effects. And then you can apply a high pass to oscillator 1 and 2 by enabling this section here. Let me just turn off oscillator 3 so you guys can hear it. Right, so you can use this high pass, get rid of the bottom end. I say anywhere between 120 to 200 hertz is good. So now there's completely no sub. And then we can bring that sub back on oscillator 3. And that gives you a cleaner sound. Now there's other ways to fatten up this bass by adding, for example, you may want to add multiband compression. Chorus is another way to fatten up the sound. You have to finesse it though. It might sound too chorusy and take the funk out of it. This chorus is actually very powerful in Vital. There's 16 voices, which is kind of unheard of for chorus effects. Even 4 is enough, I think. So that just makes it sound a little bit more wider, right? And of course, then we can go into adding some multi-band compression if desired. This tends to smash the signal, so I don't go here too much. I actually like it without the multi-band, so we'll keep it off. And once you have the basic sound out, it's all about finessing, adjusting the drive to taste. Right. You may want another sync value. So depending on the sync value, that determines the overall vibe, right? I think that's the moral of today's story. Now I turned off this filter earlier because I wanted to finesse the sound, but we can turn it back on. There we go, that's what I wanted. It always comes together at the end. So all I did was finesse this filter. I forgot to turn on oscillator 2. So the way this filter works is this enables or sends oscillator 1 to filter and then sends oscillator 2. So I forgot to turn on oscillator 2, which is why I was wondering why was I not getting the sound I want. A vertical knob is the resonance, so it gives, the higher you go, the more juice it adds. Of course, there's different filters here. The dirty filter is pretty good too. Ladder is pretty good too. Digital sounded really good for this. Adding a bit of drive to your filter makes it warmer too. Pyro Beat says add noise. Yeah, we could. I mean, this sound, I don't think it really calls for it, but if you want, you can turn on the sampler and add noise to the sound. Whoa, that's really loud though. Now, what I would do is also use LFO 1, bring it down to the level here, and then adjust it. That's too much noise. What I would also do is then turn on filter 2 and send the noise, which is this SMP. It just means sampler. So essentially this fourth row here is a sampler. So we can send the sampler to filter 2. I like to high pass my noise, right? So the way Vital works is to get a high pass, you have to actually morph this filter. Oh, you guys can't see if I just move it here. So this little slider here will morph it from low pass to high pass. You can't actually, because if you go here, you'll find that where's the low pass? It's actually, there is no low pass on this drop down here. If you look, right? So you might wonder, where's the high pass? Well, you just find it here. You notice here, there's this little symbol that means low pass, high pass. So it morphs. So let me just solo that. So that's the noise sample. Okay, so now we can bring the other sounds back. Okay, so you guys let me know. Do you like it with or without noise? Here's without. Sorry, without. And here it is is width. Of course, there's a number of different noise samples as well, so you can try the other ones, of course, right? All right, everyone's saying noise. Well, we got a couple votes for noise, so I guess we'll stick with that. Okay, so this is pretty much the preset. So once you have it ready, right, so you can start sequencing the sound. Let's go back into the wide view here, right, and I have this arrangement here. Let's see what we can do here. I'm just playing a long note on E. Now, one thing if you're using Ableton, what I want to do is add a pitch bend to this bass, right? So I want to go and choose Automate, right? And choose MIDI controls. And so as you can see here, there's a pitch bend that goes down, but it's actually not doing anything right now. And the reason is, and I got a shout out to my buddy Andre for this tip, is that by default, this MPE mode is enabled on your VST instruments. For some reason, when this is enabled, it doesn't read your pitch wheel or mod wheel. So you have to disable this little button here. Hope you guys can see it. Let me see if I can zoom up for you guys so you can see. So right click on here where it says MPE and disable MPE mode, right? And now it should read your pitch bend. Now I'm thinking the way we designed this particular one sounds a bit different. I think it might sound a bit better if we go up. Another key thing with wobbles is if you wanted to have a little more funk, explore the dotted and triplets, right? It'll make it sound more trippy and more funky. So to enable dotted, just click on this icon or triplets. And another thing with wobbles is I like to modulate the rate. So changing the rate, going fast and slow, right? So to do that, we turn on this configure mode under Vital. Let me see if I can, that's better. So use this triangle, turn on this configure mode, right? What this does is any button that you hit on Vital, it's gonna show up here. So now if I, for example, click on the LFO rate here, now it's gonna show up here over here. So now we can click on this rate, right? Right click on it, show modulation, and then we can modulate it over here so we can make it go fast and slow, right? Oh, I think I got did I get the wrong button? LFO button. Random LFO. Why does it say random? Let's make sure that's the right button. Oh, that's why I had the wrong one. Get rid of this guy. I think I can just delete it. There we go. So now we can draw the tempo in. Except now that's when it's playing too slow, so you have to adjust the default rate. So make this maybe a quarter. That's better. And we can make this so this automation mode has its own parameters on the right here. We can make this 8, right? And then you can. This is a neat way to make your automations make more variability, like make it different. Someone says the second one pitch up. Sure, we can do that. So what I'm trying to say here is this pattern is 4 bars, but you can actually make the automation pattern a different length, right? So we can make this pitch bend. Right now it says linked to loop. Turn that off. We can make this 8, right? So this is a quick way. And then make this, move this up here, right? Without changing the length of your pattern, right? Now this sounds a bit weird. We have to change the speed. It gets cut off a bit. That's a little sample I had from last time. You motherfuckers, did you get time? You motherfuckers, did you get time? So yeah, that's pretty much this preset. The moral of today's story is, well, finding the right setting for your oscillators, using the sync button and finding the right octave. As you can see, this sound is all sine waves. It's just clever manipulation of the sine waves, using this LFO to modulate the volume to create that wobble, right? And then pretty much the magic happens is when you distort the signal. Magic happens when you have 2 sine waves that are playing completely different notes and you smash it with distortion. That's when you get those awesome fuzzy harmonics. You motherfuckers, did you get time? Right? Everything else is just finesse, right? The basic sound is there. You can then add reverb. We added a third oscillator as a sub bass, and just make sure it's being sent to the direct out here so it isn't affected. So the reason why we're doing this is to avoid the sine wave, the sub bass on oscillator 3 to be reverbed, because we all know that we should not be adding reverb to sub bass to keep the mix clean. So this is a way to do it. And then of course, thanks to your suggestion, we added some noise to the wobble to add a bit of grit to it. And then I think the secret sauce was adding this filter at the last step and finessing the filter. It's making sure it's being sent to oscillator 1 and 2, adjusting the filter cutoff, which is this bottom horizontal fader, and then the resonance is this vertical fader, right? So hopefully you guys followed along, and hopefully it was straightforward. I know a lot of you guys have wanted to figure out how I made the sound. It is a very popular sound in jump up, drum and bass, even just rollers. And as you can see, it's pretty simple to do. And if you guys are interested and you want to support me, then check out my new pack, Wubs and Wobbles. It just came out today. You can check it out down in the links below. Remember that I have a introductory discount. You get 10% off if you use the discount code WUBS. That's WUBS with 3 B's, right? And I think you guys will really enjoy this pack. And a lot of you guys actually don't know that Vital is for free. So hopefully you guys are now a little more accustomed to Vital. Go and grab the free version. If you want more wavetables, grab the paid version. I'm not sponsored by Vital, but I just love the synth. I've been using it a lot. It's actually my primary synth now. I think it's even better than Serum. And I just like the wave shaping parameters that Vital has, and the overall sound. It sounds very gritty, very clean, and yeah, just amazing for bass music. So go and grab Vital, grab the free version. If you want more, grab the paid version. And if you want to support me, grab Wubs and Wobbles down in the link below. Other than that, just want to thank you guys for tuning in again. Once again, my name is Stranger. If you want to improve your music production and sound design, especially with drum and bass and dance music, this channel is for you. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, like the video if you enjoyed this video, want to see more like it. Until then, I hope you guys have a good week. Stay safe, stay creative, and I'll see you at the next